Hello, amazing parents and caretakers, and welcome to the Pumped Up Parenting Podcast. I'm your family empowerment coach, Celia Kibler. I'm a mom of a blended family of 5 kids. I'm a grandma of 9 kids, an author, a teacher, a speaker, and a consultant with over 40 years of training and real-life parenting experience. I'm here to offer you practical, doable tips, strategies, and techniques that will pump up your parenting skills and create peace, love, and laughter throughout your family. In addition, I'll be interviewing some great humans that are on a mission to make your life a better, happier, and healthier life. So let's not waste any time and get started with the next episode of the Pumped Up Parenting Podcast. Thanks for listening. We have our next speaker. Hi, Keith. How are you?
Hello, Celia. I am doing great. I've been listening along this morning and yesterday, and it's just getting better and better.
Some amazing speakers, wouldn't you say?
Yes, yes.
So before you go and guide us, I would like to read your bio and tell everybody a little bit about you. This is Keith Jowers. Keith M. Jowers is a dedicated advocate for fatherhood and family values, renowned for his multifaceted career as a dad coach, author, speaker, and entrepreneur. He is the founder of Dads for Life, an international nonprofit organization that he established in 2004, committed to helping fathers connect with their children and invest in their greatest asset, their family. Raised in Jacksonville, Florida, Keith experienced the profound impact of fatherlessness firsthand when he lost his father at the age of 11. This personal journey fueled his passion for supporting fathers and underscored the critical role they play in their children's lives. With over 35 years of law enforcement experience, Keith served notably as a school resource officer in officer-friendly positions that allowed him to engage directly with youth and advocate for their well-being. His commitment to child safety and development is further exemplified through his authorship of 4 books, including Meet Officer Keith, Children's Series, and Daily Connections. Beyond his writing, Keith is a seasoned radio show and podcast host, using these platforms to share insights on parenting, personal growth, and legacy. His entrepreneurial spirit is evident in his diverse roles as an auctioneer, musician, actor, showcasing his belief in lifelong learning and versatility. Keith's topic is There is a Difference Between Chaos and Calmness. Keith, welcome to the International Day of Calm Summit.
Well, thank you, Celia. I appreciate it. I'm just beginning to wonder who you were talking about. Am I that old? I've done all that stuff, but my goodness.
Your awesomeness, sir.
You and I have known each other for quite a while, and through just basically another mutual friend at that time, and yet years just keep on going by, do they not?
No, of course they don't.
And I look back over things I've done and what Glenn and I have been involved with over the year, and we've had a lot of chaos in our life. And I've seen a lot of chaos in a lot of different areas of my life, especially when in law enforcement, you get to a scene and there's a lot of chaos sometimes. And you may be the only one there, and you have to decide, how are we going to handle this situation? I find out in life that there's a lot of chaos, and just recently, just getting ready for this, getting back from a beautiful, calm trip to Utah, as you knew I was at, I get back, I got a few things going on, and I'm trying to say, how do I do this? How do I get all this, get ready? And I was late getting some things to you, but I got it done, because if you really just take your time, sometimes you can create your own calmness to fix the chaos. And sometimes I put the chaos before the calm. I mean, I'm just being real here, right? But what you are doing and what you've done, your team has done for the last few years, and I was a part of it one year, I could tell you that more calmness that can be taught and accepted in your own personal life, then you can help spread that through the earth, And with all these wonderful speakers you have, it's just been, I've picked up some things myself this morning. So I want to just applaud you, and your team for what you've done. Now,
thank you, Keith. And thank you for your service and being a police officer and all the good you brought to children because that was so part of your policeman years and then what you're doing now. So I just you also bring calm to the world and peace to the world through so many different venues. We're
Thank you.
glad you're here.
All right. Well, I'll get started if I figure out how to do this. Let's see, share my screen, right? So here
Share
we
your
go.
screen and I'll go away.
All right. Let me go to my slide and start from here. As we know, friends across this Day of Calm International Summit group here, we find that there is chaos in our life and there is calmness in our life. There is a true difference between those two, and which will you choose? That's the question that we have today, is which one are we going to choose at that moment? Because there is there's always something that's going to create chaos, as we've been learning from a lot of different speakers, and the story that really touched me the most was the one about Nita. Celia, I can tell you that really touched me a lot because I grew up with a little bit of myself, not me personally, but one of my siblings. So I can tell you that it was better when there was calm in the house, and it's not so good when there's chaos in the house. But what is chaos? Um, it's a condition or a place of great disorder or confusion. Very simple, actual definition of that. And when you have a place of great disorder or confusion, whether I was on a police scene or in the military, all the different things I've done, and I find chaos, there has to be somebody that says, hey, there's a better way, and we can try to resolve the chaos in our lives. So can you make you feel disorganized and stressed and uncertain in those particular moments? I know I have. And so when I think about that, I think about what are some examples of chaos? Well, mornings when everyone is scrambling to get ready for school or work. We're talking about families a lot today, and that dynamic of life. And I know in the morning time, if you oversleep a little bit and you've got a routine, you're going to be going and going and going, and that creates a little chaos. But disagreements about household chores or divisions or responsibilities. That was your turn. We've got nieces and nephews, and it was their turn. It was their turn. I've got grandchildren now, and it was, he was supposed to do that or she was supposed to do that. So disagreements about household chores or divisions or responsibilities can create chaos, as well as overwhelming schedules. And I can tell you, I overwhelm my own schedule sometimes and juggle multiple activities, just like all of us probably on this summit, and school events and social calendar and all these things. And then somebody comes up and says, oh, can you do this for me? And sometimes we want to say no, but we say yes, so that just creates more. So there's many, many examples of what can create personal chaos in our own lives. The impact of chaos is simply that it can lead to unnecessary stress. It can lead to medical issues. I have friends and go to the hospital, and I say, well, what turned out to be? And they say, oh, they said I'm under a lot of stress. So I know that stress can cause a lot of things in your life. It may be stress that you don't even plan for. It may be things that you have to take care of. Like I took care of my aunt, I took care of my mom, my wife took care of her family members. It just so much of that sometimes because you want to do those things because it's within you and the love for your family, but yet it can create a lot of things because you're still doing all these other things. But it also, the impact of chaos, it can create an environment where individuals feel unheard of or they're overlooked, which, it creates more tension in the family. So, but we have to understand, what is chaos? Well, chaos is not always a sign of dysfunction, but it can reflect to the complexity of such. I mean, what I mean is that it's not always, you're not dysfunction. You just have to do all these things. So you're putting it all together and it creates that own internal chaos. So when I think about a picture says 1,000 words, I look at this picture and I see that, in the corners we have family issues going on, chaos where a child doesn't want to listen to the parents no matter what they're saying. She covers her ears, and down in the right corner, a father yelling and screaming at his kid, and he just goes into fetal position sitting up. Well, I've seen a lot of that. As a police officer, 30 years, of being working with schools and children. I logged at one time over 3,000 counseling sessions between parents and or students, and I seen a lot of chaos in their lives. And I would talk to the student, I talk to the parents, and I bring them together and try to bring unity of such that in my office. And I'm a police officer. I wasn't a teacher, I wasn't a counselor, but then as that role, you can be all of that. So you just try to bring peace to that situation. And then you look in the right top corners, the opposite corners, you're looking at the protests. We can turn on our news any time of day anymore across this world, no matter what country you're in, and you can see protests that are not peaceful, even though they say they are. That's chaos. That's crazy chaos, in my opinion. And if people would just listen to each other like we used to in years gone by and take a difference of opinion, sometimes you can eliminate that chaos. My friends, I mean, the world is in a mess. And I can tell you that when we create it by adding to it and not even knowing the situation that's going on politically, but yet you're going to join the group because you want to belong somewhere, that's adding more chaos to it. So when I think about that, I think about, okay, what's the opposite of that? That's what Celia's been talking about. I remember when she actually talked about this for the very first time. She wanted to create this tribe of calmness, and it was exciting. And now we've grown to she's grown now to where she is today because it keeps growing and growing. It's like the ripple effect I heard you talking about earlier. I think it was yesterday, but we talk about the ripple effect. You throw that rock in the pond and it spreads. Well, that's what she's doing through this calmness. And that is me as a peacemaker for all those years, even though I had to do some things that was creating chaos in other people's lives because what they were doing creating chaos in other people's lives, and they had to go to jail for whatever reason. They were not thinking about calmness. They were thinking about their way only, created chaos, created their trouble that they had. And then in the back seat, when I calm things down and talk to them, they tell me they made a mistake. But if you live in a state of quality of being calm all the time, you eliminate yourself from being in those kind of situations. And, having quietness in your life and tranquility, as she's talking about with her tranquility tribe. So I think about that, and then I go back to thinking, okay, the examples of calmness would be as a family or work setting together with peace, mutual respect, and understanding, and bringing emotional safety. Family dinners. Remember those? We sit around at the table. I remember when I was a kid, I'd go out and play till dark. When the street lights come on, I better be in the house. So family dinners where everyone was present and conversations were relaxing. I saw a YouTube video a while back of a grandma having everybody over for Thanksgiving, and all the kids were on these things right here, these phones and their iPads and all that. She said, "It's over there on the side." So what's that? That's where you're going to place that phone or that electronic device while you're in my house having dinner with me that I've cooked all day. So see, we take a stand, and they were conversing at the table. Remember we used to do that? Quiet evenings together with minimal distractions, fostering minimal or meaningful connections. Uh, we used to, because I was a single dad at one time, a divorced dad, my daughter, when she came to us, we'd sit down at a table and we'd talk. She still had things she had to do and all that stuff. We worked around it, but we wanted to know what's going on in her life when she wasn't in our home. And then it just creates more conversation and connections when you meet as a family. You ever been in a restaurant and you see the whole family sitting together and they all have one of these? Everybody, it's like texting each other what they want for the meal. I'm going like, this is crazy. We've seen that kind of stuff. So that's creating personal chaos at the table when you really should be talking as a family. Communication, conversations can really help resolve issues. The impact of calmness is basically to reduce stress and promotes emotional well-being. It also creates a foundation for positive conflict resolution and better communication among your family members or your coworkers. In a work situation, chaos can get really out of hand quick. Understanding calmness effects is that it allows families or coworkers to regroup and reset. I think it was yesterday, Celia, that one of your speakers was talking about just looking out the window, looking for green. And then I went back and I changed my calmness to green. You see that? And then the red is chaos to red. So I did that because your speaker yesterday was talking about just find something green. I had to take the dog out and I said, oh, look, there's green all around me. So the dog wasn't.
That was Matthew.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
dog
I
wasn't calm.
know. I'm wearing green every morning.
The dog wasn't calm all the time, but it made me come back in and change these words to color. So anyway, so calmness allows family and coworkers to regroup, reset, because sometimes we just have to reset. Husband, wives, children, and parents, we just have to say, forget that. Let's start it. Okay. Fostering resilience to chaos raises its ugly head once more. Chaos is always looking for opportunities to shine. They are looking for that. So moving on. Now let's look at the pictures of calm. Picture says 1,000 words. I love sunrises. I love sunsets. If sunset, I'm looking at the day didn't go too bad. If I just hold on a few hours, then I've got a sunset to look at. And when you can find a place to do that, no matter where you're at in the world, it's just a beautiful start of your day. And whether you do yoga or prayer, meditation, whatever it is, get started doing something. You can see over here on the right where the families, I mean, the kids happy to be around his parents. And I've known a lot of kids over the years that love being around their parents. And on the opposite side of that, on the chaos side, Celia, I've seen a lot of kids that don't want to be around their parents. I had them come in my office and talk to me a lot simply because they couldn't talk to their parents at home because nobody ever wanted to listen to them. And that's a shame. That's a shame. So, and then you look to the peaceful protesters on the left and right. There's no bats and bricks and being thrown or fires. There's just people protesting for something. And then at the bottom, you see the families enjoying each other. And then I've got the sunset at the bottom there. So calmness can present a whole lot different pictures than the chaos ones we looked at earlier. And you can look anywhere on the internet and find pictures like this, but I just chose these because of the meaningful that they meant. We do choose whether to remain calm or be a part of the chaos. It seems that the logical choice anytime it would be calm, but people don't do that. Countless individuals believe that chaos is the only way to choose. You get in any kind of political decision or a conversation with somebody, if it's not their way, they don't want to talk to you no more. I've seen friendships broke up after years. I've seen marriages broke up after years. I've seen just families broke up just because they don't agree with a different side of view. And that's what conversation is about. Celia and I have been friends for years. If we disagreed on something, we just disagree. We're still going to be friends and have a hamburger together somewhere one day. But not today. Some people just won't do that. And I think it comes with internal beliefs, internal education, who you're listening to, where you're getting your true values of life. But personally, I believe it's much to do with lack of positive parenting and lack of yelling all the time and screaming all the time and chaos in the house. Because I've lived it. I lived it as a kid, and it was better when it was calm. And I've lived it as a career officer where I saw a lot of that. And I remember one particular kid who she was getting abused every night by her mom's boyfriend. And then when she finally told a friend who trusted me, we got that situation resolved. I still believe in having a legitimate conversation. And if we disagree, it's okay. Let me say it again. If we disagree, it's okay. And if we were friends before the conversation, we're still going to be friends after the conversation, or at least we should be, whether it be religion, politics, how we raise our children. But when you converse, when you round table with a friend that you trust or a group of friends when you trust, then you can come up maybe with an aha moment and decide, you know, maybe that does sound a little bit better. It might not be in that group, but it might be when you get home and think about it a little bit more. One important reason to stay calm is simply that calm parents hear more. Low-key accepting parents are the ones whose children keep talking. You know, at one day, when that day comes for me, as it has many, many dads, and I've talked to a lot of them, as they go and they're on their deathbed and they're about to die. We're not looking for more money. We're not looking for a bigger house. We're not looking for bigger cars, nicer cars, or how many friends I had on social media. But I want my family there. I want my family there. And I've had taught the dads whose family was not there because they failed in raising their kids because it was more about them than it was their children. And that's sad. So you want to make sure that when you're older and that day is coming, I mean, you took care of them. You might want them to take care of you one day, okay, if they've been brought right. In calmness lies true pleasure. Victor Hugo said that. In calmness lies true pleasure. I was telling Celia we were out of touch a little bit last week because my wife and two of her friends, we all went up to Utah, Moab, Utah, beautiful place, and just had mountains like these everywhere. And there is nothing like forgetting the day, getting off of this other than taking pictures, and looking at those beautiful arches that God created. There's just nothing like it. So find a place wherever you're at in this world, find a place to do that. Just sit and think. And then when I was trying to just sit and think, there was something else over his side. So I was creating chaos because I was looking over this beauty and then I look over this beauty. So, but I just took it all in. I took hundreds and hundreds of pictures on our social media sites. So anyway, so find a place wherever you're at in this world that gives you this kind of tranquility. So what happens when you, as a parent, you do the right thing and you're listening and you're talking to your kids and all that. And I don't know what in the world just happened here. Are you still seeing that? I think I hit a, okay. I don't even see my view anymore. Hold on. Where'd it go? Okay. Am I sharing? Anyway. All right, here we go. So you look at all these, there were two parents right in the center. Okay. Two parents and 100 grandchildren and great grandchildren. You think there was chaos? Yeah, probably some. You think who probably helped getting that all controlled was these two people right in the middle. But look at that. You think there was a lot of listening going on and a lot of helping going on? I do. Because that's not going to happen right there with chaos all your life. If two parents just chaos in the family all the time, that right there will not happen. It's a beautiful sight if you think about it. Now I come from my family was not that large, but yet, I feel as though we have what we have. Everybody's got what they got in the way of family. But this is a beautiful sight to me, seeing this. Finding balance between chaos and calmness. Balance is essential because it allows us to experience the fullness of life and the ups and downs and the loud and quiet moments. We can't control every chaotic moment in our lives, but we can embrace flexibility. We can encourage each other. We can develop family routines. We can create sacred spaces, and communication is the key in every situation with each other, or even to those around you. You can create that. You can be the catalyst to get that going. Prioritize quality over quantity. And I put this up as my last slide because there's two things here. All right, chaos, calmness in the movies. You've seen movies. We were talking about movies earlier, about Celia. I think you were talking about the violent movies and all that. Well, I'm glad I put this slide in because really when you're at a chaos or a calmness moment, you're at a crossroads. You really are, if you think about it. And that's a choice that's going to echo through generations, possibly. This one is a project that our ministry and nonprofit studio is working on called The Crossroads. We're raising money to film this about family chaos. Isn't that something? All right. And things that are going on in our lives and things that can direct you in one way or the other. If you look over here to the left, there's some white clouds. You look to the right, there's some dark clouds. That's where I see chaos and calmness. And this hit me last night late, Celia, and I threw this slide in. Not that I'm trying to promote anything we're doing. I'm just saying that we are at a crossroads in our personal lives sometimes between chaos and calmness. We're at a crossroads in our country, in our world, and everything. Dr. John Maxwell says everything rises and falls on leadership. Well, you be the best leader you can be for yourself, then you can create the best calmness, serenity around you. And then over on the right is a movie I was in 2 years ago called Fighting the Fire. It was a low budget movie, independent movie. And the producer, Bobby Lacer, he just said, I wrote the story about true chaos in some firemen's lives and how it can, by seeking help, it comes out better on the other end. I won't tell you the ending in case you ever want to see it. It's all the free Amazon or all that stuff right now. Anyway, but look, he did not do it for an award, but I want you to look at the awards on the left and right. We have that many awards for that film. So I'm just saying this. If you have a crossroad in your life, if you make the right choices, you do what your heart's telling you to do, you might be surprised by all the awards that come down the pipe for the future. So I appreciate your time today, and that ends my presentation, Miss Celia.
Thank you, Keith, so much. I think we'll figure out how to get back so that we have us view. Oh, there you go. There you
Oh,
go. There you go. And I think I have to come along with you. So I do that somehow. I don't know how. Oh, spotlight me. Oh, there we are. See, together
oh,
again.
we are.
So, Keith, thank you so much for that. And would you tell people, since you mentioned your films, where they can find them, like what the production company is, or is there a link that they can go to find the films? Because your films are fabulous, and also contribute to your nonprofit.
Well, thank you, Celia. And we're going to bless what you're doing too with that children's home. We have a orphanage we've supported before in Argentina, so we understand that whole dynamic of that. Dads for Life, we just have this project going on now called the Crossroads. People can just go in there and just drop whatever if they want to, but we're trying to raise the money and do it debt free, where we can just go out and create the series that we're going to create. Some of the movies, of Fighting the Fire is on all the Amazon and all those live streaming things or streaming. You can find that, and I know it's on YouTube actually now. So, of course, you just got to deal with all the commercials. But then Success Camp was another one, and then I did Camp Hideout, which had Christopher Lloyd in it. That was pretty fun. But
Oh, I bet that was really fun.
yeah, that was, and so I played a policeman in that. Can you imagine that? So,
Yeah.
but
You
anyway,
can always go, oh, I'm a policeman. I play one on TV, but I also play one in real life.
so, but there's a lot of chaos sometimes that come in filming because, whether the
I'm sure.
weather or an actor gets stuck in traffic or gets sick, that happened on one of our sets. So, I mean, you just have to work around those things. You have to work around them, and you go shoot something else that you meant for 3 weeks from now or whatever because everything was right to go do that, and you shoot this scene that you meant for that day next week or whatever. So, but yeah, it's just something I enjoy doing because when you enjoy doing something, and you're around people and helping people, then that's what matters. I have a saying that go through life helping only yourself, you'll go through life alone. And
It's a good saying.
there's a lot of lonely people out there because they think only about themselves and their wallet, and they're not generous in helping other people. And it's just not a good way of living, in my
No,
opinion.
and
I'm
they're too
old too, so.
self-focused. Yeah. And it's so true what you say about, you know, hitting that crossroads, making those choices. I said it before. Everything we do in life is a choice. So literally every decision you make is a crossroad. Do you choose calm? Do you choose chaos? You said, like on the set of a movie, things are not going to go right all the time. They're not always going to go your way. And you could either freak out. Yesterday, the whole, whatever this is called, stream ended, in the middle of our thing. And we had to get it back up. Now we could have all freaked out and panicked and been like, now what are we supposed to do? Or we can approach it like I was teaching in the last talk. Peppa, pause, evaluate, plan, and act. Like, look at it calmly. Because if you look at it all wound up and with all that chaos, you won't find a solution anywhere.
Mhm.
You will just create even more chaos. So it's around every corner, it's within every choice. So, Keith, before I set you free, let me see if there are any questions out there in TV land. And Keith really is in TV land. He's famous. We have to get his autograph.
No.
Any questions for Keith that I'm trying to see? I know there's some messages from Ernalee. Low key accepted. Ernalee, do you want to ask any questions? Because I'm reading through your messages here. And you can unmute.
No, I don't actually have any questions, Keith. There were certainly things that you said that really kind of stuck out for me. So I wrote a couple of those in the chat, and I was thinking that the organization of a movie must be pretty chaotic at times, trying to balance it all. So kudos for you. But having been a police officer, I'm sure you're pretty good at managing the chaos.
Yes, and you can take, you sit there and watch a movie, whether it's an hour or hour and a half, or you don't realize it takes 3 weeks to 6 weeks sometimes to film that movie.
Yeah,
So
really.
it can
And
be really
I'm so
chaos.
excited that you are making a movie that is about those choices and isn't just another bang and blow 'em up movie that come out of, certain countries here, including
And
Canada.
Celia, I tell you, also, I'm actually, I'll take stories like if people were facing a personal crossroad and, they just want to tell us about it, testify to it on our website or something. I may reach out to them about actually doing a scene about that because that's what I want to do is just try to, the whole project was when it was given to me, the vision is just simply to take people's lives and you're at a crossroads and what's going to happen whether you make a good decision or bad decision, what's going to happen? And we have, I mean, alcohol, DUI, it's got human trafficking, all sorts of things in there, drugs. So we're trying to approach all those different avenues and create a lot of family dynamic chaos. So
Well, that
Yeah,
sounds like just
that's
a
wonderful. So
wonderful opportunity. Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
everybody take heed, and if there's something that you are at a crossroads with, and either it worked out well or didn't work out so well, reach out and you can, share it with the world in whatever way Keith shares it. And that's a series, right? Not a movie.
it will be, once we raise the money, we're just raising the money now to do the pilot. So, and we'll get it done. And I don't
I know
get in a
you will.
rush anymore in my age. I just don't rush things. So,
It's good.
So
And
Keith,
usually when you don't rush, you get more accomplished.
yes, you
The
do.
rushing slows things down.
I've had chaos in my life. I don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah. So Keith, before you leave us, is there one last thing you can share with our listeners, our watchers, that that will really help them realize the value of calm and the intention that they put calm into their lives?
Um, I think mainly is you decide that when you get up every morning, be grateful, be thankful
yeah.
what you have because there's always somebody like this video of this school that you are showing. You know, they don't wake up with all the nice bed, the nice water running. They don't, but they have to look for things like that, and we're helping them by donating and as we're Dads for Life will do that for you. But I also want people to be encouraged to know that you when you encourage someone else, okay, when you wake up grateful, find 3 to 5 things that you're grateful for that day. You know, I tell you that I think when you find gratefulness in your own life, you can be generous enough, and that's the other thing is be generous to share it with other people. You know, um, money comes and money goes. But if you give a little money to help somebody do something that they need, and it's like $1 million to them, but yet you got more in the bank, then you're helping them more than you're helping yourself by leaving it in the bank. So be generous when you can to do that, and listen to your heart. Listen to your heart about, okay, what am I really learning through this summit? Have I really been chaotic in my own life, and that's what's creating chaos in my life? So, but I don't know. The Bible says a gray hair or head of gray hair is wisdom, like you were mentioning earlier. My daughter says I have wisdom highlights, so I'm getting a little bit. I'm getting a little bit more each day, and Glenda helps me a lot, learn a lot. So, but I appreciate
Yes,
your
Glenda is
opportunity today,
wonderful, and
and
send her my love.
I saw a comment or something, how do they reach us or something? It's just dads4life.org, dadsforlife.org. And you
Yeah,
can
I
read
can type
about,
that in the
yeah,
comments.
you can read about Studio 425 Productions there too. So, but you are a blessing to many people, Celia. And
Well, thank you,
we
Keith.
thank you for allowing us to be a part of your growing tribe here. So,
Well, thank you, Keith, and thank you so much for being here. And I have always treasured our relationship.
uh,
And tell Glenda hi and send her my love.
I will.
And
do
I
that.
will see you when you come into town.
That's right. We'll be soon.
Because luckily, even though Keith is far away in Florida, he has grandchildren that live here in Virginia. So
there you go.
get to connect once in a while.
Yep. All right.
All right. Thank you, Keith. I appreciate it.
Bye,
If you can
everyone.
stay. If you have to go, have to go. We're going to have a little commercial break about donating, Anita, whatever we're putting up, and then we'll hear from our next speaker.
I'm gonna stay safe and stay calm. Okay.
There you go. Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Pumped Up Parenting Podcast. If this episode was helpful to you, please share it with a friend and leave us a review that will help others. Wonder why kids don't come with a manual? Well, wonder no more, because I wrote you one, and it's just won a wonderful Mom's Choice Award. Go to celiasbooks.com and buy your copy of Raising Happy Toddlers, as well as my children's books. I appreciate you being part of my mission to help 10 million parents stop yelling at their kids. Please be intentional and hug on those kids of yours. See you at the next episode.